Hello, it's Carissa with CCC Solutions showing you how to modify, add, and customize fields in the Manage Fields section of X2 CRM today. So first of all, you're going to need to make sure that you have admin access in order to access this menu. You're going to go to Admin, and then you're going to scroll down to X2 Studio Customization Tools, locate the Manage Fields button on the right, and you'll land in this menu right here. So we're going to briefly go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're seeing here. This is called the grid view of the modified fields form. So the model name is literally the module, and they correspond to the modules up here that have records in them. Field name literally refers to the true name of the field. I would recommend when you're actually adding a field or customizing it, making sure that the field name, when you're adding a field for the first time, this field name cannot be modified once you have added it. So make sure that you do it right the first time. And I would recommend formatting it within your organization as all lowercase, and then if there's spaces, using a underscore as the separator instead of squashing them all together. Making sure that, as you can see here, these are all mixed formats. You can see some have the uppercase, some are lowercase. So I would recommend standardizing that. Another thing to note is that when you add a field or create a field for the first time, because it's a custom field, X2 will actually automatically assign a C underscore to the front of the field name. That really is to denote that is a custom field created by a user and did not come native during the pre-installation out of the box. So notice that these ones don't have a C underscore because they are native fields that were out of the box when you logged into your CRM for the first time. The attribute label just refers to the display name and how it looks in the form. So if you go to contact, you look at a form, how's it going to look? That's going to be a little different from the field name. That's the true name you're going to use for formulas, for workflows, and if you're doing some marketing and you're using merge attributes, you would want to use the field name as the true value. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to add field right here. So a couple of things again is make sure that two things you can't change when you later on when you go to customize fields is you cannot change the model where the field is, and you cannot change the field name / or the attribute name. So make sure these two are in the right place and formatted correctly or appropriately the way you wanted it. So in this case, I want a field in the contact record, and I'm going to create maybe a third phone number. So we're going to go ahead and put there phone _3. We don't know what it is because it could be a wildcard because we already have a mobile and an office. Maybe this is a home phone number. So we're just going to assign it with phone 3. Here in the attribute label, I'm going to put phone 3. Notice how it looks a little different here simply for that reason. Once again, the field name is the attribute, is the true name. There are no spaces allowed. X2 will not allow you to save or create a new field with any space here, and I would recommend doing it all in lowercase with the underscore as a separator. The attribute label is how you want it to look when you're reading the information in a form, in a given form. The attribute label is basically a display name. So the type, now remember, we are making this into a phone field. So you want to program it accordingly, or you want to make it behave accordingly. There's a really cool feature here, the phone number field. So the phone number field is basically also a link that you can actually click on if there is actually values in there. Default values are great for maybe as a prompt or if it's unique to what your organization does, but I would just leave it blank. Required just means, if you check that up, it means that a form cannot not have an empty field. So this field must have something in it, otherwise the form will not save or it won't update. Unique just means this is great for ID numbers. Maybe in your organization you're assigning some kind of ID, unique ID to that particular form or contact or record. Searchable just really means it allows X2 to use whatever values are in that field to index it so they can search. So if you're plugging in some search here, it'll actually show up in the search. I would omit key type. I'm not going to talk about that today. That falls under more of the admin category if you need to manage higher functions within the field of the form. The description literally guides somebody who needs to create or input something into the field, and it tells the user how the field should be used or behave, and you can put anything in there. This should only be used for third phone numbers, let's just say, right? Now we're gonna hit save on that. So remember, you can't change the model or the field name once it's been saved. So make sure it's saved the way you want it to, otherwise go ahead and do it correctly the first time, otherwise you may have problems later on. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and just look up here, and of course it's been added to the top here. That's the most recent additions. To customize the field, let's say I wasn't quite happy with naming it 3, like phone 3. So you can go ahead and locate that field under the model or the module, and this will be alphabetical where you look for it. I'll put it under 3, and notice there's already a bunch of phone numbers there. So phone 3 is the one I'm locating, and remember, see, you can only change the attribute label, which means the display name. So I'm going to literally put, maybe I just want to put a hashtag in front of it, right? And then I'm going to hit save on that. And you can also change the type while we're at it. So that's how that works, and that's how you would manage fields. Now, if you want to remove a field and you're still here, you would need to reload the browser. So let's say I didn't want that in the first place because, well, I didn't need it. I thought, you know, I needed it, but I didn't. Notice how when I clicked remove field and I try to find that field, it did not show up here simply because it hasn't been indexed yet. You would need to reload this browser window and then hit remove field. Now, if you look, this is prioritized and listed in order of the most recent field at the bottom that you created. So see, it's right down here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And one of the really cool things about X2 is that it tells you whether this field actually has values in it or not across the board, right? So right now it says, oh, it's empty. Yeah, there's nothing filled in there at any one record stage level or anything other than that. So it does advise you, which is really, really cool. Now, if there are values in there, it will also tell you so, and there will be a number here, and it will be in the red color. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. And bam, we're back here. So thank you for watching. If you want more information on how to edit a form and how the field needs to show up in the form, go ahead and click on the next video called Form Editor. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.